So picture this. A Nigerian military plane makes an emergency landing in Burkina Faso. On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right? Just a minor aviation incident. But this one event, this single landing, has absolutely ignited a diplomatic firestorm. We're talking 11 soldiers detained and two of West Africa's biggest power blocks pushed right to the edge. Today, we're going to unpack how one flight could end up redrawing the political map of an entire region. And, this quote from our source material, it absolutely nails it. This isn't just some simple misunderstanding between two nations, no way. It's a fundamental challenge to the old guard. It's a test of who really gets to set the rules in a region that's going through a massive political shift. A dynamic we're seeing play out all over the world, not just in Africa. Okay, so to really get what's going on here, we have to understand the deep, deep division that has split West Africa in two. This isn't some new crack that just appeared. It's a chasm that's been getting wider and wider for years. And this aircraft incident, it basically just landed right in the middle of it. So on one side, you've got ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. For decades, it's been the main game in town for regional cooperation, led by heavyweights like Nigeria. But now, a growing number of countries see it as a puppet for outside interests. And on the other side, you've got the AES, the Alliance of Sahel States. This is a brand new, defiant bloc, formed by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Their platform is simple, and it is absolute, total, uncompromising sovereignty. So what caused this huge split? Well, if you ask the AES countries, they'll tell you the old system, the one run by ECOWAS, was totally compromised. They felt like their own national sovereignty was being chipped away by outside influences that were using the institution to get their way. So they didn't just want a few changes, they wanted to tear it all down and build a completely new regional structure on their own terms. All right, so now let's get into the incident itself, starting with the official explanation from Nigeria. And, well, it's a story of pure technical bad luck. Or is it? So here's the official version. According to Nigeria, on December 8th, their C-130 military plane developed some kind of technical problem while it was in the air. So, following standard international aviation rules, they made a precautionary landing at the closest airport that could handle it, which just so happened to be in Burkina Faso. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Non-threatening, by the book. But yeah, that official story, it didn't exactly land well. For the AES, this was no accident. Not even close. They saw it as a provocation, and their counter-narrative is absolutely explosive. We're talking accusations of spying, deception, and even trying to destabilize the country. And what's really wild is how quickly Nigeria's story just fell apart. First up, the alibi. Nigeria said the plane was on its way to Portugal, but then came the denial. The Portuguese government came out and said, nope, we weren't expecting any aircraft like that. And that contradiction just blew the doors wide open for much darker accusations from Burkina Faso, that this was an espionage mission. And then, even more shocking, claims started popping up that the plane was actually there to supply terrorists in the region. So this is the really crucial point here. The fight over what actually happened up in the sky is being matched by this furious battle over the story being told on the ground. You have all these conflicting reports, these claims and counterclaims. It's all part of a bigger information war where controlling the narrative is every bit as important as controlling the airspace. With all this talk of geopolitics and information warfare, it's really easy to forget that this whole crisis has a very real, very human cost. The fate of 11 people is just hanging in the balance. 11 Nigerian military personnel. These aren't just numbers in a diplomatic chess game. They're soldiers who, as many have pointed out, were probably just following orders. And now they're stuck right in the middle of a massive international incident. And the stakes for them personally, they could not be higher. If they're actually tried and convicted on these charges, especially espionage, they could be facing life in prison in a foreign country. I mean, that's just a devastating outcome for them and their families. And you can just imagine the immense pressure this puts on the Nigerian government. Back home, the debate is just raging. On one hand, you have hawks, like a prominent senator, who are calling for military action against Burkina Faso. And then on the other hand, you have people begging the government to just come clean about the plane's real mission and plead for the soldiers to be released. The whole country is split on how to handle it. But let's zoom back out for a second, because this incident is more than just a diplomatic crisis. For the Alliance of Sahel States, this is a massive opportunity. It's really the first major test of their unity and their determination to forge a new path. I mean, just think about what the AES gains by playing hardball here. First, it makes them look strong and united to their own people. Second, it sends a powerful signal to the rest of the continent that they are a serious new force to be reckoned with. And maybe most importantly, it's a direct public challenge to the authority that ECOWAS has held for so long. So in the end, whether the plane actually had a technical problem or not, it almost doesn't even matter anymore. The AES seized this moment to send a crystal clear message to ECOWAS and to the entire world. The days of your unquestioned influence are over. Our sovereignty is not up for negotiation, period. So where does all this leave West Africa? The immediate crisis, the one with the 11 soldiers, that will get resolved one way or the other. But the questions this whole affair has brought up, they're going to stick around for a long time, and they'll be shaping the future of the whole region. And this is the first big question we're left with. Is what the AES is doing a totally justified, necessary defense of their national independence, or is it a dangerous breakdown of the kind of regional cooperation that you need to fight things like terrorism and to build economies? And that, of course, leads to the next big question. Can old-school institutions like ECOWAS even adapt to this new reality? Can they actually reform themselves in a way that satisfies these demands for more sovereignty? Or have they just become obsolete, making way for new, more aggressive alliances like the AES to take over? And finally, we come to what might be the most important question of all. This whole standoff has drawn new lines in the sand, both politically and psychologically. The real challenge now is whether those lines are going to harden into permanent fractures or if there's some way to find a new kind of dialogue, one that's actually built on mutual respect. The future stability of West Africa might very well depend on that answer.